Good morning. It's Jessie Dujari at Morning Oasis again. It's 10 a.m. on the 26th of December. Today's my husband's birthday, so happy birthday, husband. It's been the weekend. It's been over the weekend. I hope that some of you guys continued your daily practice of meditation, of checking in with yourself, of trying to be present. It was kind of an interesting weekend for me. I had a lot of old past kind of traumas from Christmases. My Christmases were never very good growing up. We were oftentimes didn't have much money. We didn't have a lot of, we moved a lot. We weren't around family a lot. Oh, good morning, Kimberly. So good to see you. Christmas was not really a very good time in my home as a child. And usually people weren't really very interested in it. I was always trying to get everybody excited. I was usually the one who would decorate the tree by myself. So I had a lot of old kind of stored beliefs, old stored feelings around the holiday, and true to form with the energy coming through right now, it was all about bringing those things up to the surface. So all we could do was look at them and release them. Good morning, Shauna. So yeah, this was a hard weekend for me, and I did spend quite a bit of time in meditation, quite a bit of time in just a releasing space and working on really confronting those beliefs that I hold, like this is what a good family looks like, or this is what a happy Christmas looks like, or these belief systems that really limit us and set us up to feel like we're failing, because that's really what happens with these beliefs. We set up beliefs around everything, and a lot of times it's pretty unconscious when those beliefs start to form. So today we're going to talk about beliefs. But I thought I'd check in with you guys and see if anyone is interested in a card pull. Would anybody like to have a card pull? Good morning, Ignacio. Let's see. I'm going to turn off my Facebook and everything. So, and I know there's a little bit of a lag, so I'll let you guys catch up. And if you guys would like a card pull, then let me know in the next few minutes. All right, Kimberly, let's see. Kimberly just had surgery and she's recovering beautifully, I hope. Ganesh wants to talk to you. I don't know why today the bookshelf is so wobbly, but there's a little jiggle in the camera, that's all. Let's see. Let's see what Ganesh has to say for you this morning. How were your guys' Christmas? Does anybody want to talk about that a little bit while I shuffle? Good, doing well. Good, Kimberly. So glad. So Ganesh is beckoning you to pull forward your inner knowing, Kimberly. He is reminding you that you already know. You already have the answers. You already have the solutions, the questions that you want to ask. You already know these answers, which I think you already know. So Ganesh is just calling to you to pull out that inner knowledge, to take that time when you feel the question, when you feel the concern, when you feel the lack, right? To come in and look inside and pull that answer from within. It's really, I think that's what most of us are finding. And I think that's why so many, so many of us that work in this field, that do this as a living as well, as a way of life, we tend to, good. That's awesome, Kimberly. We tend to, forget, and we think that the answer that we find within ourselves must be wrong because the people around us don't agree, or it wouldn't make them happy, or because it would create a conflict or an upset around all of these, the system around us. I try to think of that system as being there purely. Yes, Letitia, I'd love to. Good morning. Gosh, sorry, I guess I'm clearing something out with that one. So, we tend to think that when we get this answer internally, that couldn't possibly be truth. That couldn't possibly be the right answer, because, who are we to have that knowledge come through? And I think that we struggle with that a lot. I think a lot of us tend to dismiss that. But the reality is, right now, so many of us are coming through with huge connections. Our guidance is coming in, our intuition is waking up, all of our gifts are coming online. So even more so than ever before, now is the time to connect with that own internal guidance and really let yourself be leading yourself. That's the most important part. I'm going to scroll back and see. Yes, Ganesh is brilliant, Kimberly, I agree. Ignacio says, I'm feeling like so many energies are around me, and I feel like my work like a medium is more clear. And do you think I am in the right way? Well, the right way, Ignacio, is you're just like the inner knowing card, right? You're the only one that can know if that's the right way for you. Are you excited to do it? Do you wake up each morning and look forward to a new client? Do you feel strength and more clear in your own path as you're doing the work? These are the questions that I ask. One of the, I'll pull a card for you in just a minute, Letitia. One of the things that's popping, so I'm going to go ahead and say it, is, when I first started waking up, right? Like when I first started coming into conscious awareness of the impact of energy, of the impact of my meditation, of my connection, of my consciousness work. When I was doing that work, it's funny, my brain just went totally lost that. Questioning. Good job, Kimberly. It's good to stop questioning yourself. So when I first started to wake up, I was seeing this group, I could see them around me. I could feel them around me. I felt like everything would be perfect when I found my group. And so that became my focus for quite a long time. And at first, I was trying to make the people that were already around me a part of that group. And so I put a lot of pressure on my friendships and on my relationships. This was probably about 3 years ago. And I was trying to get them to get on the same board as me, because externally I needed to be validated in order to know that this was truth, right? Inner knowing. So I would go and I'd, always talk about that concept, always talk about this subject. I felt like it was my personal mission to awaken everyone I encountered, right? So, and I found that, if they were my really close, dear friend, yeah, they did actually need to wake up. There was a reason they were so close to me and I was so close to them. We are very similar. But were they a part of that group? No, they weren't. And so I started looking for the group and other people, and I made new friendships, new relationships, thinking, are you part of my group? And it reminded me of that, that book, Are You My Mother? Are you my mother? Are you in my group? So I kept looking and looking and looking. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe I just need to make a platform. So I turned my practice healing, I built my practice healing Pathwalkers so I could start training with people, working with people, understanding, starting to build what would be my practice. And I opened it up, and I got side railed by some friends, and I went and did their group, and I did work with them, and that didn't work out either. So that dissolved, and I came back to Healing Pathwalkers, and I kept working and working, and that's right. And I opened it up. I opened Healing Pathwalkers up to be this platform that anybody could come in, as long as they were interested, as long as they were, authentic, living in integrity. Those were some of the qualifiers. And then we opened a store, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was trying to make this group. And it wasn't until every person that I brought in just kind of broke. They'd come in and they'd break. Whatever it was that I brought them in to do wouldn't work. It didn't work for them. It didn't work for me. Appointments weren't being made. Products weren't being completed in timelines that were created. Nothing was happening. It wasn't working. And I was losing my motivation. And I was also switching to, I cannot work anybody else's path. What am I doing? I can only walk my own path. I can only do my own work. Good morning, Andrea. And so when it comes, and people come to me all the time to try to understand their path work better, or if they're doing the right work, or what they should be doing, I always tell them about this story. The whole quest and journey to find my group was the quest and the journey to find myself. And my group is my energetic support team. Now I have a partner that I work with, an awesome partner, Shauna. And one of the reasons we work so well is because she does her work and I do my work. And we work together to create this path that we both can share from. So allow it to happen organically. Allow your path to evolve as you evolve. When you start working as a medium, Ignacio, if you're working as a medium now, essentially that may be what you do. You may be a medium for the rest of this path work. That might be your job. It might also be the access point that brings you into greater and deeper understanding and deeper awareness. What is mediumship? It's channeling. It's channeling energy of consciousnesses of humans who've passed and who are disembodied. You're tuning into the vibrational frequency of those people. Now, once you figure out how to do that, you can tune into anything. You can tune into angelics. You can tune into the consciousnesses of the ETs who are supporting us. You can tune into trees. You can tune into the planet. Once you're tuning, it's the limit. So yeah, mediumship is a part of my practice, and for me, it was the key. It was a key that opened other things up. My awakening process, as far as consciousness and energy work, really started much younger. As a young child, I was seeing ghosts, aliens. We had abduction experiences that were really quite beautiful and sounded more story-like than anything I was seeing in the popular media, so I didn't believe it could be true. We saw fairies. All of those things were a part of my childhood, a part of my youth, that I then shut down and had to reawaken, wake back up. Mediumship was just one aspect of that. So whatever it is that your path work is going to be, it's going to evolve as you evolve, and allowing it is the whole key. State of allowance is the whole key, I find. Okay, so Letitia, you asked for a card, I believe. Let's see. The Earth Magic wants to talk to you. Good morning, Trav. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. This is a beautiful one. I don't think I've ever gotten this one actually before. It's called New Moon and Promise. So I'm going to just look this one up because this is a card I'm totally not familiar with. And while I'm looking it up, I will say this, the new moon is really about, we don't have the reflection coming back at us, right? The moon is no longer reflecting to us the light of the sun. The moon is hidden completely in the shadows. So let's see. Okay. So this is what the book says. This is a time to launch a project, a new relationship, a renewal, something that has been put aside for a later date. Within your intention and willingness to allow a full cycle to complete itself, that which you desire will manifest. The seeds of that idea is ready to emerge from the darkness of your subconscious and into your full awareness. The next step is to put into action what is required to fully realize this idea. The promise has two meanings. It can be a commitment and guarantee to yourself or someone else that a particular thing will happen, or it can imply that something specific is expected to happen. When your will is aligned with the will of spirit and your intention is focused upon what you wish to have happen, there will be fulfillment and the promise is kept. But what I was saying, the other thing of a piece of that is with the new moon, right? We're not seeing the reflections anymore. We have to kind of go on faith often with a new moon. Like if you're out hiking at night, I don't know if you've ever been a night hiker. If you're hiking during a full moon, it's pretty bright out. It's pretty easy to see, especially if you're in the light of the moon. When it's a new moon, it is a dark night. You really have to go on faith and trust your step. And I think that's a part of this as well. When you are building this new project, just like as I said earlier, when you're making something, when you're building your work, when you're building your practice, when you're building your life, you have to kind of just step forward and allow what comes to me. What is the work that's coming to me? What is this project? What ideas are coming to me? What resources are showing themselves? How am I being steered in this work, in this project? So it sounds like something new is coming. Good job. That's exciting. I always love new things to start. So I'll go ahead and go back into our conversation. I didn't actually pick a topic today because I felt like it would show me what it needed to be as we started talking, and I feel like it has. There's the one thing that I work with the most with people is how to trust that inner instinct. Now, because I've taught this before, we're going to use it again, the compass. I believe that using this tool is the most powerful and easy way to cut through the beliefs that usually obscure us as we try to uncover why we're thinking or feeling or reacting or viewing something in a particular way. So a lot of my students already know this tool, and I believe that if you've been watching this show, you probably also know it. But then there's no shortage of opportunities to practice it. What I find is that even as people know this tool, they rarely use it when they're in a triggered state or when they're confused or they just don't trust it, right? So that was back, again, echoes back to trust your inner knowing that Ganesh said earlier. So we're going to work on that inner knowing today. We're going to work on what do we, talk about a little bit about what do we do to block our inner knowing. And then when we go into our meditation, we'll do some more compass work and play with that a little bit more. Become more familiar with it. You're welcome, Letitia. So when we have an inner knowing, okay, so like what is that? What is the inner knowledge? What is that? Where does it come from? One of the things my teacher said, my former teacher a long time ago, that I just thought was so beautiful is beautiful, Ignacio, beautiful. So she said that, there's a difference between inspiration and intuition. And an inspiration is like an in-spirit message. And intuition is that message that's coming through from your inner self, from your highest intuition. So there's still confusion, right? I know for myself, that I have so many beliefs built up around, gosh, it will look like somebody loves me when they do this. It will look like somebody hates me when they do this. It will look like I am loved and supported when this is happening. It will look like I'm not loved and supported when this is happening. All of these are beliefs. It's not true that I'm not loved when that occurs, because usually anyone who's interacting with us loves us if they're interacting with us. It's our belief that says the way that they're interacting is not of love. And so when we're doing this kind of consciousness work, my belief is that we have to find how we define ourselves, those beliefs that we limit ourselves with, that we cut ourselves off from others with, that we use as protections to shield ourselves from seeing the truth. It's all about finding those beliefs and then breaking them and showing yourself that there are other ways, there are other truths out there. So one of the things that I use my compass for the most is I ask myself, is an old pattern playing out right now that I'm being given an opportunity to look at differently? And usually the answer is yes. And so it's not that, it becomes about that, can I remember to ask that question when I'm in the pattern, right? And I go through this a lot with my husband. We, I pretty much have smooth sailing relationships with most other people in my life. There are very, very few people that I have conflicts with left. And most of the time I'm loved and accepted and allowed to be exactly who I am and show up in whatever way I choose. And sometimes that can actually create an inflated sense of self, right? It can create like I should be accepted exactly as I am. I should be allowed to be in any space that I choose. So my husband is my check and balance, right? So I don't have other people checking and balancing that so much. I have my husband checking and balancing that. And if I'm all the way on this side of, I'm going to show up exactly as I want to, he's all the way on this side of, well, I'm going to control exactly how the other person shows up and how I show up. And the control and the allowance are on the extremes. So when you find yourself having somebody on the extreme, right, of you, ask yourself, am I all the way out to the extreme? Am I now seeing the bandwidth of this pendulum swing? Is that what I'm seeing right now? Is that why the behavior is happening? It's not that my husband wants to shut me down. It's not that he doesn't love me. It's not that he doesn't value my input or my the way that I behave or whatever. It's that he is a check and balance. He's my mirror. He's my shadow self. He's my externalization, my projection. He's all of those things. He gets to be the whole package for me. And that tends to happen for us in spiritual circles. We pick partners that are like the whole package of everything that's wrong because we want our lives to be easy. We want the rest of our lives to be easy. So oftentimes we as intuitives pick people that are narcissistic because they are the opposite. That's what's necessary to balance out our allowance. Right? We walk around in total allowance oftentimes, especially if we are empathic or intuitive or in this way gifted. So we'll have these balances come in that they have to be more in order to bring us back into the center space. That's what I've been playing with lately for the last month, for about a year now, but really getting it and understanding it better last month. So it takes some time to really process this. So if you have a relationship that's challenging, that's conflicted, that's the relationship that we're going to look at with our compass today. If you're in a place right now where you find yourself with nobody around you on the external, well, then you've decided you no longer want the externalization as your lesson plan and you want to internalize the lessons. And that's great too, right? There is no right or wrong. Both systems work. For me personally, most of my lessons are internal and my husband serves as the rest. And I love him for it. I get angry for it, but I also love him for that, because without that mirror, I wouldn't have grown. I wouldn't have broken as much of my beliefs. As my friend Josh says, my balls wouldn't be so big, which I think is hilarious, because he was trying to, we had this whole hilarious conversation about that, where he was like, you mean, actually, I think your ovaries are bigger. So I wouldn't have had such big ovaries. I wouldn't have learned how to speak up, speak in the counter of, in the face of someone countering me. I would never have learned how to hold clear to my opinion, because I never really felt the need to be so solid and clear in an opinion before. I would have never felt the need to pause so much and think about what I was going to say, because I tend to open up and let it out, right? I'm just a open channel. And sometimes I expect people to be okay with that, and they aren't, because not everybody is ready to receive these messages. Just because I'm hearing them doesn't mean the other person is ready to receive them. He teaches me discernment. He teaches me a lot of things. And he also teaches me when it's time to just walk away. It's not my job. That's not my work. That's not mine to fix. That was another problem I used to have, right? And I think a lot of us end up in these relationships because of this piece as well. We feel like because we see the problem, we see the solution, we feel the answer, it must be our job to serve and to fix this person. Not everybody needs to be fixed. In fact, nobody does. Nobody needs to be fixed. And that's the greatest lesson that I've learned with my husband, is that he is perfect exactly where he is. If I fix him, he can no longer serve as the mirror I need him to. And if I fix me, I can no longer serve as the mirror he needs in order to learn more compassion and more self-awareness, more self-love, right? So when we are, I think I talked about this a while back, about how healing in and of itself is starting to become controversial. Just the concept of, is it my job to heal another person when they have not yet come to an understanding or awareness of why the problem is existing? No, it's really not. So that's one of the reasons that I shifted away so far from session work and moved more into teaching. Let me give you the tools that helped me to find my path, right? Now, I think that everybody's going to have their own understanding of that. Everyone's going to come into that in their own way. But I think right now, the real question is, when people come to us and we see the problems that they're presenting, when we see the challenges that they're presenting, when we see the requests that they're making of us as their healer or as their guide or their channel or their medium, when we feel those things, how much do we give? How much do we share? How much information do we channel through? And do we channel that information even when the person doesn't ask? Let's say we're at a party and somebody comes up to us and you get a flash. Is it your job to share that flash? So these are kinds of things that I use my compass for, actually, when I'm not sure. Because sometimes I might want to share something because I'm feeling small, because I'm not feeling like I can fit in. Oh, and there's something I can do? I'll share this. Or sometimes I share things because, well, they're poking me with a red hot poker and nothing's going to change until I share that information. I have to let go of how it's going to be received. I have to let go of how I'm delivering it. I have to let go of all of those things. And that's part of what this morning Oasis is for me, is letting go of my concept that this is what it is to show up. This is what it is to do this work. This is what it is to be of service. So those are all things that I use my compass to help me decide, to help me kind of feel through. And when I'm in a reading, I'm also using that compass tool. So we're going to play more with the compass. All right, let's make sure we're sitting comfortably. We're at that half-hour mark. Try and start the meditation around there so we've got time. Ooh. See? I told you guys this one is a big one for me too. All right. Well, again, I'm getting that weird setting, storage almost full. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So we're going to take a minute And just check in with your body, feel how you're sitting. If you need to stretch for a minute, I do. Then do so. Get comfortable. We're releasing. All right. Just take a few moments to come into the body, come fully present. Breathing in that present moment, feeling the air pass into the lungs. And exhale, releasing. Breathing in, present moment all the way down. Breathing in, imagine you're breathing from the root, from your seat. Breathing in. And exhaling, releasing from that root. Go ahead and release. This is a charged topic for a lot of us. I can feel a lot of tension and anxiety, so we're just gonna breathe for a minute. Recognizing that even just in this breathing process, our body is releasing. It's already starting to release these beliefs, already starting to let go of the debris that energetically held in place the doubt, the confusion, the sense of lack of value. Some of you may even be having ideas or thoughts popping in while we're doing this beginning breathing, memories or recollections about times where all of these old beliefs were proved true. Just allow those to come up as you're breathing. If you're noting in your body physiological responses or emotional responses to things that are popping up, just thank them. Thank them for showing you, and let yourself look more. As you're breathing, we're going to do a little bit of breathing just to get through this first stuff. It feels pretty thick. Now, many of you have been following me for a while, and you're already feeling those roots going down, feeling the tingle in your feet and in your seat of Gaia's energy. Go ahead and just take a moment to feel that. Thank you, Ignacio. That's beautiful. I'm seeing this pop of times where you've shared your gift, shared your intuition, shared your knowledge or understanding, and faced the consequence of that, right? Face somebody else's anger, face somebody else's protection, their belief systems coming into play. Thank yourself for showing you this again, this upsetting time. Just allow. Breathing in and releasing. The way that our body is actually releasing toxins and releasing the debris that we have stored is not through our digestive system as much as through our respiratory system and our circulatory system. So as we are burning and processing through the stuff that our cells release, gets released back through through our fat cells, through that endocrine system. Oh, excuse me, not the endocrine system. Lymphatic system, thank you. Through the lymphatic system, and it comes flushing back up, and it gets processed through the lungs, through the skin, through our pores. That's where we release most from. So the breath is very important when you're doing any kind of work about beliefs, because you're opening up cellular memory when you're doing this work. Making sure you're always breathing. That's one of the reasons that the breath is such a part of meditation. That breath is the bringing in and the releasing, bringing in and releasing. Our digestion is a tube that goes through us, and it just shoots right through. But our breath, that's how we process. That's how we move things. Our breath controls our pulse. Our pulse controls our breath, right? These are a paired system that work together. So breathing in and out in a very relaxed way, in allowance, helps to process this stuff that we're going to be bringing up. Many of us have a lot of beliefs we've formed about ourselves as a result of the responses that we've gotten from our communications, our channeling, our work. So allow those to show themselves and come up. Now I want you to take note in your body of where that Gaia energy is now. Where is the tingling? Is it in your thighs? Is it in your calves? Has it come up through the knees and legs? Has it started to rise through the body? Or are you already fully grounded? Take note of these things. Observe and allow. Everyone's going to be in a little bit different of a space. You know, you're doing really deep stuff when you get those clearings from the gut. I'm feeling like that Gaia energy now for most of you guys is in that solar plex region. So we're just going to continue allowing it to come up through the body. And as it comes up through each of these regions of the body, it's going to release memories that are related to those regions, right? So right now we're in that solar plex, so maybe you're having things come up that are showing you how disempowered you are by others' behaviors, all the times that you've been disempowered, all the times you thought you were standing in your power. That's a big one. And had somebody else take that away. Had somebody reject that, teach you to not share that power, not share that gift. Continue breathing through these things, just allowing them to be there. Bring that energy up. Feels like it's in that heart space now. Feeling all the times that we just gave out of love. We were just trying to love and support, just trying to be there for somebody, and it was rejected. We were rejected. We were rebuffed. Our information was shut down. Our channel was shut down. Just let these things show themselves. Feeling it come up into that throat space. Maybe you're having memories of all the times you've spoken a deep truth and it was not received. You were taught to shut down this truth. My family used to call me the village news because I was an open channel and I didn't know what I was doing. So they would criticize and make fun of me, and it used to hurt me and really make me feel sad. And it still upsets me when people tell me that I talk too much, or when people tell me to shut up, or people, in whatever way, try to control or limit what I'm saying, because it's that little girl who still feels like she got shut down too much. So just allow that. And as I release that, I also feel coming in that deeper knowing that all of those times served me to hold what I have to say as truly valid and sacred. To be what my message is, what I'm communicating, to be of the utmost importance, which means I must care when and how I deliver them. That's what they were teaching. They didn't know it, but that's what they were teaching me, that not everybody is in a space to receive such sacred information. Not everybody is ready to receive that information. And I don't have to fill the space between the information I'm channeling, right? Lots more lessons coming through. When you get a cough like that, clearing out the debris I've held in my lungs and my heart, right? That debris that tells me I'm not lovable, I'm not loved, I'm not valued, I'm not held in a space of love in this heart for somebody else, right? These beliefs that we build. Just release. Feel how that energy is already starting to come up. When we don't block, when we don't try to argue with or justify or even dive deep into, when we just allow and observe as things come up, they release so much more quickly, and we get to see how they served us. We get to understand how they helped us. So we're just going to keep flowing. Feel how that energy now is coming up into the head. And all the times we could see the truth, know the truth, understand the truth, as I see a crow landing right outside my window. Allow that truth that we've seen and known to just exist as it shows you how it's been supporting you. We continue to flow that energy up. Feeling that crown beginning to open. Now, a lot of people hold in this crown space all of their feelings of anger towards God, anger towards Source, towards the Creator, disappointment, perhaps unanswered prayers, unmet expectations held for what a Creator should and shouldn't be doing for its creation. There's a lot of stuff stored in this crown area. My crown is on fire. So, somebody's processing some big stuff there. Good. Feel that crown opening up and allowing your energy to go up and connect into Source consciousness. Now, some of you may be new to this, so I'm going to be calling down strands of consciousness, that strand of Source that is your connection. And if you feel or imagine a string coming down from above you and connecting right into your top of your head, right into your crown chakra, attuning you back into that Source frequency. And feel that frequency, that string come down all the way through the body as you bring, and if you've been doing this, bring that Source energy down through the crown, down. Remember, you're going to be releasing this way too. Just like we released as we came up, we're releasing as we bring that energy down. Down through that sixth chakra. As we soothe the parts that see with our God self, our God self truth. Bring it down. Speaking the truth we receive. Right? Bring it down. Opening up the heart space and letting it pour into the heart, filling up that heart space with this source energy. Let it come down into this solar plex. If I feel like I need to, or I even feel slightly in any way the urge to, touch any area that feels blocked with my hands and rub my chest. This is also why pranic healing works. Our physical body has energy fields as well. We're using that physical energy, the physical body, to support this. Your vessel is your tool. Use it. Use all parts of your tool. Rub that stomach. Mine wants to be rubbed, so I'm gonna rub and release, thanking anything that comes up from this space of storage. Our fat cells are our main storage of memory, actually. We hold so much in them. And so people who tend to have a lot of weight, carry a lot of weight, we are holding on to a lot of memories, a lot of identities, beliefs. So as we release those, the body releases the cells, the fat. It's the water in our cells that stores the memory. Water is a great storage medium for energetic frequency. So as we release the need for that memory to be stored there, the body releases more of that water. Coming up. And continue that source down into that sacral space, down just above the pelvic bone, into our passion. Releasing those times we were passionate and inspired. Bringing that energy down all the way into the root, where we're safe, loved, held. And let that energy flow down our roots into Gaia. Now, I'm pretty sure I haven't spoken about this tool, so I'm going to introduce it. I call it shining the light of awareness. We are a strand of consciousness that exists without time, without space. We can focus our attention, our energy at any point in time, at any point in space, at any other creation, at any other life we lived in. It's where we shine this light of awareness, this light of focus, is what we're looking at, is what we're experiencing, is what we're expressing. So we're going to first activate the compass, and then we're going to shine our light of awareness as we evaluate and examine this relationship piece, this conflicted relationship. So call into focus your compass. Tell your body you're going to use the body as a frequency. See, I'm getting a pain because there's something obviously I need to process. Thank you. I promise that I'll come back and address this. Now, ask your body to show me a yes. Feel that energy move. Now show me a no. And feel the transition. Show me a yes. A high yes. And a no. Show me expansion. Path work. See, feel the difference, how it changes just a little bit. And a no, contraction, deconstruction. See how that feels a little different? Feel how each of these words shifts the way that energy feels. Our words shape a lot of our experience, how we feel about things. This is part of that. Now, your compass is oriented. You have made an agreement with your body that you're going to receive information from it. If you have physical pains, aches, or emotional, this is all part of it. They're coming up right now as a response. They want to be addressed. So let's start addressing them. Allow that pain to surface. And now shine your light of awareness onto that pain. If you need more light, open it up. And using your compass, ask, is this pain a belief I have stored? Yes, for me. Is it presenting itself because it's ready to be addressed? Yes. What do I need to know about this space, this pain? Allow yourself to be shown in that light. What is it seeing? Sometimes we won't even have anything specific come up to that, like we know, oh, that's what that means. Sometimes it's just a release. Sometimes it just needed to be seen. Sometimes we just have to look. And that's what creates the release. Just looking at it. Because oftentimes we do this. And when we do, I'm not looking, then it's like we're storing it. I'm storing it instead for later. It doesn't go away. So, how is it serving me to believe this? Ask to be shown. To hold this belief. Using the compass. Is this belief serving to help me along my path? Yes. Is this belief a part of my belief system that I'm working on breaking right now? No. Is it to my benefit, optimum for me moving forward to break this belief? No. So this belief that's held here is serving me right now. Yes. Allow. Sometimes we fight and resist beliefs too, but they really do serve us. So, the pain. What is the pain for? I'm being shown for myself. I've got this pain just in my chest. Lower chest, actually. They're correcting me. It's right between my solar plex and my chest. And it's on my masculine side. It's on my masculine energy side. I can use my compass to ask that. Is that my masculine side? Yes. So it's a part of how I show up. Now see how I'm just inquiring and asking questions using that yes and no. So this is part of how I show up. This belief relates to my power, how powerful I am, or how disempowered I am. So it's a belief of disempowerment that I put on myself. Interesting. That means I'm going to be drawing people to me that will prove this to be true. I am disempowered when I show my power from my heart, right? Thank the body for showing us this. So we're running out of time, but this is just to show you one other way to use that compass tool to open up something that feels painful or conflicted, and keep looking and keep looking and keep looking. Now we're going to go ahead and close out, but you can come back into this. If you're watching this as a recording, you can pause it now and continue your looking. But since I've opened it all up, I'm going to now show you how do you release, and then how do you release it, and then and come out of this space is what we're going to work on now. So that pain that's right there has already started to go away. I've come to the bottom of that. Now I'm going to imagine that flowing from source through my body is this crystalline rainbow water flowing through me, over me, flowing down, flowing through that spot of pain I experienced and inquired about. Just allowing, and just like when we brought the energy up, we're not resisting anything that's shown, just allowing. Flow it down through the chest. If you need to, run the hands along the body, mimicking that water flowing, creating a reality for that body. Flow that energy down through your legs, all the way down and out your roots. Flow. Never resisting what's shown. Continue to flow that water until it feels like you've flushed and it's running clear. The water running out of your roots is as clear as the water coming in through your crown, right? Just keep flushing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.